Here are 4 signs that you are recovering from fatigue. Hi, I'm Alex Howard, and I'm founder of the Optimum Health Clinic, one of the world's leading integrative medicine clinics specializing in fatigue, trauma, anxiety, hormones, digestive, sleep issues, and so on. And for the last 20 years, we've worked with well over 10,000 clients in over 50 countries around the world. One of our specialisms since we started the Optimum Health Clinic over 20 years ago has been working with complex fatigue-related conditions like ME, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, post-viral fatigue syndrome, Lyme disease, and so on. And these recovery journeys can be complex. There can be a number of twists and turns along the way. And one of the things that often happens is people don't recognize, they don't realize the progress they're actually making. So my hope in this video is to point to some of the clear signs that you are making progress on your recovery journey. So the first sign is the obvious one, that you actually have more energy. But it may be the case that you don't necessarily recognize you can do more, but you do notice that you're more resilient. Like the ups and downs, like the booms and busts of your recovery journey or of your day-to-day capacity just seem more stable. So you're doing kind of the same, but you feel less crashed at the end of the day. And overall, you notice that perhaps the crashes that were happening are less deep and there's not as many of them. The second sign, now this is the one that often really surprises people. The second sign of progress can actually be an increase in anxiety, like an increase in the dysregulation that's happening in our nervous system. And if you want to understand more about how the nervous system relates to fatigue, do check out other videos on this channel. But when our energy starts to come back, often what happens is our energy initially goes into our nervous system. So we go from being so exhausted that all we do is sleep and we're in a state of crash, the energy starts to come back, but we don't physically start to feel better initially. We just have more energy, but that energy shows up in feeling anxious, feeling irritable, particularly feeling tired and wired. It's like we're so on edge, but actually it's because there's more energy. Now, if this is happening for you, you need to work to calm the nervous system and to gradually increase your activity to bring that energy into your body in a super carefully controlled way. The third sign related to this, that our energy is coming back, that you're on the recovery journey, is the amount of sleep you need starts to reduce. So it may be that you feel the same during the day, you can do roughly the same amount of things, but whereas before you were sleeping 10, 12, 14 hours a night, you find now that you wake up just needing less sleep. Now, it may be more than the average person, and it may be that you think, hang on, something's wrong, because I was sleeping 12 hours, I still feel exhausted, but now I'm only sleeping 10. But it is a sign of progress. It can also be the case that the energy's come back to the nervous system, we feel more anxious, and actually that anxiety is getting in the way of the quality of our sleep. And then our fourth sign that you are recovering from fatigue is the nature of your fatigue starts to change. We talk about 4 types of tiredness: physical tiredness, mental tiredness, emotional tiredness, and environmental tiredness. And it may be that the primary type of tiredness that you've been experiencing is physical tiredness. And then you notice as you're recovering that physically you can do a bit more and you're not hitting your limit there. But you notice you start to become more mentally tired. Like because you're doing more activity using your brain starts to get more tired. And you never got to the point of hitting mental tiredness before because you were so limited in what you were able to do. Or it may be that before you were constantly emotionally tired and you now realize that you're environmentally tired, which means you're drained by being in the same repetitive environment. And actually by doing more physically and going to a different environment, you actually find you get an energy lift from doing that. One of the things I think is really important here is the recovery journey is not a linear path. It's not that you found the things that work and you just keep doing more and more of those things until you get better. The breakthrough at one stage becomes the limitation at the next stage. The thing that was helping you, for example, super carefully pacing and measuring every activity that stopped you from constantly crashing, may now be driving up your anxiety levels and a level of restraint you actually don't need at this point. So constantly adapting to where we are and also having a really well tried and tested map, for example, like we use at the Optimum Health Clinic, can actually help us make sense of where we are and take away a lot of the anxiety along the path of the healing journey. So I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. We put out weekly videos on topics like fatigue, trauma, anxiety, sleep, digestive issues, hormones, and we're doing a series of videos mapping the healing journey from these conditions. So if you want to be notified as new videos are released, do click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.